The Niger Delta region is considered the region that lays the proverbial golden egg. For years, however, complaints of neglect and underdevelopment have trailed the region. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs is charged with the responsibility of coordinating efforts to tackle the challenges of development, environmental protection, and youth empowerment in the region. And the Minister in charge will be speaking on his plans on this week's edition of the program. Hello, welcome to the program. I am Omelogo Nadi. The Niger Delta region gained international attention in the heat of the youth restiveness in the region several years back. However, the introduction of the presidential amnesty program brought peace to the region. That peace is once again being threatened as violence rears its head in the region. Different groups are claiming the region is still underdeveloped. The interview segment features the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, but up ahead. Oil-producing communities in the Niger Delta region are asking the federal government to establish a tribunal that will adjudicate disputes arising from oil and gas activities in the region. Do take a listen.
To take absolute control.
Members of this group, who say they are representing the 9 oil-producing communities in the Niger Delta region, are visiting the minister to make some demands. One of the things they are requesting is the establishment of a petroleum tribunal that will address conflicts between host communities and the oil companies.
We want the federal government to set up petroleum industrial tribunal to settle all disputes arising from oil and gas activities. The oil companies, knowing that oil-producing communities do not have money to follow up the rigors of High Court to Supreme Court, even a genuine damages done could be denied due to lack of money. Therefore, the tribunal will handle cases in dispatch. So we needed badly such a tribunal to be established. Bunkering and pipeline vandalization. We wish to be recognized as a body to conduct surveillance on our pipelines and wellheads. It is one of our responsibilities, but we have to be empowered by laws and directives by the appropriate authorities and identify culprits.
The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, while welcoming the proposal, asks that the intentions of the group should be of mutual benefit to both the communities and the oil companies.
You talk of Petroleum Industry Tribunal. Yes, I'm happy to understand this, because when you talk of violators of any system and you suggest a quick way of dispensing with the justice associated issues of it, it will mean you are helping the country to be sanitized. But when you concentrate on its essence only to address oil polluters or environmental polluters, you are not fair, because we should think that aiding and abetting sabotage in the sector should also constitute an offense, because I know that some community leaders have their children and nephews and nieces all involved in such crimes. So do not do it to protect any segment of the community. A thief in the night and a thief in the day are liable to the same offense. Right now, there is an interministerial committee of the ministries concerned for the framework of the start of implementation of the Ogoni UNEP environmental cleanup report. And we are working very fast at it. But there are several issues associated with that. The issues of security are there. And then a greater concern is the fact that you clean up today, tomorrow there's pipeline blow up, and you need to come back and clean again, which is where we as a community need to take a commitment to know that what people do or what we do thinking it is to earn us money we are actually destroying our future.
On the issues of environmental pollution in the area, the minister says the impact of the government's efforts will only be effective if the problems are not complicated by vandals.
For these oil companies that are responsible or whose pipelines or facilities are spilling to pollute the environment, it is easy to commit them to the cleanup if we do not complicate the situation by having pipelines blown up, because in the mix of all this, each oil company will feign innocence and put every claim upon what is going on. And I know that the very people doing these things may be our people, they may be strangers from our own communities, but either way, we have a responsibility. Because if a stranger comes to your community, you will know it's a stranger. And if it is your person doing something, you know who is doing it. We are all from communities and we know how communities are run. So to pretend that we don't know who does these things, it means we are first of all deceptive of ourselves and deceptive of our intentions to see that our communities grow. Let nobody deceive you that growth and development come only by liquid cash in any form of currency. It doesn't. It is in the treasure of what we behold.
Meanwhile, some of those in attendance also say the recent acts of vandalism are in fact political.
And if the needs are met, nobody will carry a gun, nobody wants to die, nobody wants to kill. So that is the situation. But right now, it has gone out of the place of kidnapping, killing. Whatever is happening now is political.
The establishment of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs is one step amongst many that the federal government has taken to help address the problems of the region.